It's been a while since we here at the Leaderboard bombarded you with facts about Five Nights at Freddy's, and since then, Scott's cranked out a ton more content. So today, we're bringing you 107 more facts, again, on FNAF. This time primarily focusing on Ultimate Custom Night, FNAF VR Help Wanted, and the Curse of Ned Bear DLC. And of course, we'll briefly talk about the still hotly anticipated feature film. It's me, Marcus with the Leaderboard, and let's jump scare to it. Number 1. Although Ultimate Custom Night seems like it would have all the animatronics from the series, it's actually missing quite a few notable examples. This includes withered versions of Foxy and Freddy, phantom versions of Foxy and the Puppet, Jacko Bonnie, Yendo, and more. Funtime Freddy is replaced by Molten Freddy. Number 2. The roster for Ultimate Custom Night was programmed one by one and revealed incrementally on Scott's website. 3 joke characters were teased for April Fool's Day. These characters were Nightmare Freddy, Foxy, and Phone Guy, and their mechanics were inspired by debunked fan theories. Number 3. April Fool's Foxy would dash into the room and actually help you by blocking a door or by giving you a little extra power. This is a throwback to when fans theorized Foxy in FNAF 1 was just trying to run to the room to check up on you, but accidentally gives you a heart attack when he shows up at your door. Number 4. April Fool's Day Nightmare Freddy showed up with an alarm clock, and if you pressed it in time, you'd wake up safe in your bed. Well, at least until you resumed your slumber. Number 5. April Fool's Phone Guy would have been unable to call if Springtrap was in the vents because he can't be in 2 places at the same time. This references the fact that Phone Guy and Purple Guy were once thought of as the same character. A million FNAF theorists cried out in anguish when Scott removed all 3 characters from the roster the following day. Number 6. Ultimate Custom Night was the first game to officially call Phone Guy, Phone Guy. Previously, he was nameless, but Scott officially adopted the nickname for the character by the 8th title. Number 7. In Ultimate Custom Night, Springtrap can only try to attack once per night, through the vents. This is interesting as it's the complete opposite of his behavior in FNAF 3, where he was the only real threat and would show up constantly throughout the evening. Number 8. Mr. Hippo has the longest death screens in the game by far, with rambling monologues poking fun at FNAF theorists. Oh, and they're also completely unskippable. Even turning off the game doesn't help. They'll just resume as soon as you reboot. Number 9. Unlike other mediocre melodies, Happy Frog is one animatronic completely immune to the heater within the ducts. It's theorized that this is because frogs are cold-blooded. Number 10. All of Pigpatch's death one-liners are accompanied by a banjo tune. This, coupled with his southern accent, could make his character an ode to the movie Deliverance. Gross. Number 11. Orville is considered the smartest and most difficult mediocre melody to deal with in Ultimate Custom Night. He's only fooled by the audio cue 10% of the time. An elephant never forgets, how to maim you. Number 12. Despite being, the Music Man is actually extremely sound sensitive, and making too much noise will trigger his attack in Ultimate Custom Night. Number 13. Music Man's voice actor, Matthew Curtis, actually came out with a bunch of performances as Music Man, including Sound of Silence and Put on a Happy Face. That is pure gold. Number 14. Lefty always shushes the player after killing them for some reason. He must hate noise nearly as much as the Music Man. Number 15. Adventure Endo 1, a FNAF World character, was set to appear in Ultimate Custom Night, but was removed along with Candy Cadet. Candy Cadet made a cameo as a decoration, but Adventure Endo 1 is still completely absent. Number 16. Keeping a certain animatronic in Ultimate Custom Night on a low level doesn't necessarily mean they'll stay that way. See, DD can show up and increase a character's level or summon a new one, including 6 that are exclusive to her. RWQ, FSFASXC, Bonnet, Plush Trap, Nightmare Chica, Lolbit, and Mini Renas. Number 17. Using the Death Coin on level 1 Golden Freddy with no other animatronic active results in instant death. What a delightful Easter egg. Number 18. There's an Easter egg in the Old Man Consequences minigame of Ultimate Custom Night. If you set Old Man Consequences level to 1, with all other animatronics set to 0, you'll be transported to his fishing pond and can drown yourself. Fun. Number 19. Drowning yourself in the Old Man Consequences minigame actually affects the save file of a previous game, FNAF World, by unlocking the drowning ending. Number 20. The toughest FNAF challenge ever concocted is the 50-20 mode of Ultimate Custom Night, where all 50 animatronics AI is set to the max level of 20. The select few who have accomplished 50-20 were rewarded with a Golden Freddy statue on the home screen. Obviously, the ultimate completion bonus. Number 21. The streamer Remery is the first known player to beat 50-20. He accomplished the monstrous task about 2 weeks after the game's release. Number 22. Scott surprised us with an early release for Ultimate Custom Night, moving the release up from August 2018 to June 27, 2018, because he never pulled that trick before. Number 23. Scott waited for FNAF YouTuber Daco to come back from vacation though. What a guy. Otherwise, he would have released it even earlier. Number 24. In 50-20 mode, Shadow DD, also known as XOR, replaces DD and appears even if DD Repel is used. She summons her entire roster one by one. Number 25. Unfortunately, Ultimate Custom Night is the first mainline FNAF game that currently doesn't feature a mobile port. So now, I need a new excuse for screaming on the bus. Number 26. Fortunately, the game was released on Steam absolutely free, like Pizzeria Simulator the year prior, though that was disguised as a fan game, so Scott gets more props for his generosity this time. Number 27. Ultimate Custom Night was originally intended to be DLC for Pizzeria Simulator, but this ambitious project quickly grew into a standalone release of its own, complete with its own lore. Number 28. Trash and the gang all make a return in Ultimate Custom Night. Almost all. Sadly, Pan Stan is missing the party. Oh, poor Pan Stan. I know I didn't mention him when I talked about missing animatronics, but number 29. Trash and the gang technically aren't animatronics. See, there's nothing electronic or animated about them. Well, except for Mr. Hugs, because a vacuum cleaner could technically be an animatronic, I guess. Number 30. RWQFSFASXC, also known as RXQ, is a character that hasn't been seen since FNAF 2 when he was just known as Shadow Bonnie, a pitch-dark version of Toy Bonnie. Matching its appearance, RXQ makes the room dark for 10 seconds, and you cannot avoid this hallucination. Number 31. Ned Bear is a clear ripoff of Freddy Fazbear's design and Fredbear's name. Like all knockoffs, he's cheaper and has thinner wiring. Perhaps due to him being such a knockoff, he's the only mediocre melody that was able to cause a lawsuit back in Pizzeria Simulator. He can be warded off with a heater or audio in the vents in Ultimate Custom Night, and acknowledges he's merely a secondary character in his death speech. Come on, confidence, Ned. Number 32. The only non-canon enemies that appear in Ultimate Custom Night are Nightmare Mangle, Nightmarionette, Jacko Chica, Dee Dee, and Old Man Consequences. They're non-canon as they appear in the FNAF Halloween DLC and FNAF World, two entities that don't take place within the lore reality. Number 33. Plush Trap has always been skittish. To avoid his jump scare in Ultimate Custom Night, you must stare at him through the camera while he's chilling in his chair. Just keep staring until he gets frightened, or, you make things awkward and he leaves. This mirrors his behavior in FNAF 4, as he never attacks while being watched. Number 34. Phantom Mangle and Phantom Balloon Boy in Ultimate Custom Night act pretty much exactly the same as they do in FNAF 3. They will jump scare, but not kill the player, instead causing audio and visual distortion. I bring this up because I'm still salty that the game throws in jump scares that aren't even punishment for losing. They just happen. Number 35. Conversely, Phantom Freddy is the opposite in Ultimate Custom Night compared to FNAF 3. In FNAF 3, you had to ignore him to avoid a jump scare, while Ultimate Custom Night has you shining your light on him to avoid a spooking. Pretty sneaky, Scott. Number 36. Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie weren't originally supposed to be in Ultimate Custom Night, but ultimately Scott threw them in while taking out Candy Cadet and Adventure Endo 1. Number 37. Despite claiming to have a roster of 50 animatronics, Ultimate Custom Night actually has over 60, though only 50 are customizable. That 50 doesn't include Dee Dee and her summons, nor does it count the different members of Trash and the gang. Plus, there are more characters littered around that don't harm or distract you. Number 38. Rockstar Chica has absolutely no interest in frivolous lawsuits. To stop her from entering the office in Ultimate Custom Night, you simply need to remind her of the wet floor, as she's deathly afraid of slipping. I don't really know how she moves silently with those maracas, though. Number 39. Toy Freddy does not actively pursue the player as he's retired. Instead, he plays a video game throughout the night and will only attack out of rage if he loses his game. It's theorized that he's retired as a way for Scott to explain to fans that Toy Freddy isn't all that important to the series or the lore. Number 40. Rockstar Foxy is unique in that the higher level you set him, the less likely it is he'll appear. See, his parrot gives you a prize if you click it in time, but this comes with the chance of Rockstar Foxy killing you instead. This risk of death is also increased the higher the level, so play carefully. Number 41. Nightmare Freddy and the Freddles were initially conceived as separate customizable antagonists in Ultimate Custom Night's early teasers. However, they were combined into one entity for the final release. Number 42. Golden Freddy was the first character to be put into Ultimate Custom Night according to Scott's website's programming status bar, which, as stated before, revealed these characters incrementally leading up to the release. Number 43. Although one of the original game's animatronics, Foxy was actually the last animatronic to be programmed into Ultimate Custom Night according to the programming bar. Though it should be noted, the programming bar only signified the 50 customizable animatronics. Number 44. El Chip, the rival Mexican beaver animatronic, bears a striking resemblance to Scott's previous creation, Chipper, from Chipper & Sons Lumber Company, a game whose character criticism helped lead to the creation of FNAF due partly to Chipper's creepy appearance. Number 45. Does Ultimate Custom Night give you too many options? Don't really know where to start? Well, don't worry. There are 16 preset challenges in the game, including Ladies' Night, Creepy Crawlies, and Chaos? That can't be good. Number 46. The reveal of FNAF Help Wanted was marred in mild controversy. The teaser image revealed on Scott's website featured artwork of animatronics that was likely traced from fan-made artwork. Scott apologized and removed the artwork within hours. Number 47. The original teaser contained few hidden phrases. Don't listen to them, we let something inside, it was an accident, and remember Jeremy. Number 48. The teaser also contained links to images, most of which seemed to be screenshots from the game. However, one of the photos contained an unidentified animatronic shot with camera shoddy work. This left fans to speculate that it was a picture of a prop from the upcoming FNAF movie. Number 49. Scott himself makes a cameo in FNAF Help Wanted, as his picture is shown when Hand Unit talks about the lunatic that made up all the negative press and rumors about murderous animatronics within Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Number 50. Additionally, it's later explained in the game that Fazbear Entertainment hired an irrelevant game designer, Scott, to create indie video games based on the real pizzeria murders and disappearances in order to discredit the rumors. But wouldn't that just garner more attention? Whatever, it's meta and I dig it. Number 51. Collecting all Faz tokens throughout Help Wanted hidden in diverse locations grants you the ultimate reward. A basket of exotic butters. This is a throwback to FNAF's sister location. Number 52. But some of those coins are pretty hard to uncover. For example, you have to feed Chica some pizza to reveal one, and in the FNAF 2 reimagining, you have to let the puppet attack you. So, I suppose a deathless 100% speed run of Help Wanted is impossible. Sorry, GDQ. Number 53. Not only is FNAF Help Wanted the first FNAF game on consoles, it's the first FNAF game made by a development team outside of Scott, Steel Wool Studios. Of course, Scott obviously was still a huge part of development. Number 54. Additionally, VR Help Wanted is the first FNAF game not developed on ClickTeam Fusion 2.5's engine, the team instead opting for the Unreal Engine 4. You had a good run, ClickTeam Fusion 2.5. Number 55. Fans have always joked that Chica is obsessed with pizza. Help Wanted supported this headcanon by showcasing Chica eagerly approaching a pizza box and pizza party, and having a bit of Za stuck to her body in parts and services. Number 56. However, after eating all that pizza with no way to, pass it, Chica's pizza-filled body is completely festering with cockroaches in parts and services. Number 57. Glitch Trap is referred to as the anomaly by Tape Girl in the game, and otherwise isn't named at all in Help Wanted, but files within the game refer to the entity as both Glitch Trap and Spring Bonnie Man. Number 58. However, a different file named Glitch Trap contains images of a silvery spring trap, which shows up in Vent Repair. Fans have speculated that this was a misnamed file, but I'm thinking it's just Scott being a sneaky Scott. Number 59. Before fans data mined Glitch Trap's name, he was referred to with nicknames like VR Rabbit and my personal favorite pun, Malhair. He will forever be Malhair to me. Number 60. Glitch Trap's voice, if you could call it that, is actually comprised of distorted audio clips of Tape Girl saying, "Hello, can you hear me?" Perhaps these two are even more closely linked than we originally thought. Number 61. The remakes of previous titles within Help Wanted are missing a few animatronics due to the changes in gameplay. For example, Golden Freddy doesn't appear at all in the FNAF 1 and 2 VR reimagining, which makes sense in FNAF 2 as there is no Night 6 in Help Wanted. Number 62. Additionally, Phantom Puppet and Phantom Chica are missing from the FNAF 3 reimagining. Number 63. The Showtime button featured in Help Wanted still doesn't work, even with Curse of Ned Bear being released. Perhaps its purpose will be revealed in a future DLC, or perhaps it won't, like FNAF 4's boss. Number 64. FNAF VR Help Wanted is the first FNAF game to receive a rating by the ESRB, as it's the first widely released title. It was given a T for teen, because FNAF players are clearly all 13 or older, right? Number 65. The implementation of VR allowed for all sorts of increased mobility and sight in the reimaginings of previous titles. For example, in FNAF 1, you can now peek out of the office, prompting Foxy to charge you more quickly, and you can finally see the back of the office, revealing yellow lockers. How exciting. Number 66. The FNAF 2 reimagining featured quite a few changes. For one, there's no longer a flashlight. Instead, there are a few different light buttons on the desk. Additionally, most original Withered animatronics have been saved for the special Withered Blacklight level. Number 67. I said most Withered animatronics because original model Foxy remains in the regular levels, but not the Withered version. Instead, they used his model from FNAF 1 there, creating all sorts of timeline inconsistencies. Number 68. 395248, the code needed in original FNAF 3 to unlock the minigame Stage 01 and the good ending, can be used in Help Wanted's reimagining to reveal a Faz-token. Number 69. In the FNAF 3 reimagining, the character Coffee from Scott's old game Desolate Hope occasionally shows up on the desk. Coffee is a sentient coffee machine with arms and legs that also appeared in FNAF World. Number 70. In Help Wanted's Funtime Foxy Dark Room minigame, you'll be jump scared by Lolbit if you step on the red tiling out of bounds. This is the first time Lolbit actually has a jump scare in FNAF. In Sister Location and Ultimate Custom Night, Lolbit served as more of a distraction, making you type LOL to get rid of it. Number 71. Lolbit gets a much more prominent role and finally a time to shine in the Blacklight level of Dark Room Funtime Foxy, as this time around, Lolbit's the primary threat, replacing Funtime Foxy himself. Number 72. The Parts and Services room in FNAF VR Help Wanted, where you repair the original 4 animatronics with instructions from Hand Unit, bears a striking resemblance to the Parts and Services room of FNAF 2, and is probably meant to be the same location. Number 73. Vent Repair is probably the most unique of any of the vanilla Help Wanted modes. It doesn't really draw from any previous games. See, Dark Rooms is based on the FNAF 4 Plush Trap minigame in Sister Location, while Parts and Maintenance is inspired by Pizzeria Simulator Salvaging, and Night Terrors is similar to FNAF 4. FNAF 1 through 3 levels are obvious throwbacks to FNAF 1 through 3. Number 74. In Vent Repair and Help Wanted, Mangle isn't always the only animatronic lurking about his level. If the player looks down, they might find a mysterious endoskeleton lurking beneath them, clutching the grate. Number 75. Ennard's not alone in his Vent Repair level either, as you can sometimes catch a cameo by Bon Bon in the elevator shaft of Ennard's stage. For those who don't remember, Bon Bon is the Bonnie hand puppet from back in Sister Location. Number 76. Of course, the Blacklight levels feature even more Vent Repair antagonists. Mangle now has a doppelganger, and Springtrap joins Ennard in hunting you down. Number 77. Bonnet's mechanic changes between FNAF 4 and Night Terrors. In Night Terrors, she appears by popping out of the dresser, bringing a new threat within the room itself. Kinda akin to the Freddles in the original FNAF 4. For those who don't remember, Bonnet is basically a pink Bonbon. Number 78. The Circus Baby Night Terrors level is somewhat unique, with the player having to hide from Circus Baby in a closet. It does bring back memories and similar door-closing tension from Biddy Bab's level in Sister Location. Number 79. The Blacklight level of Night Terrors Pizza Party is the most free-roaming area within the game. You must traverse a maze made up of various FNAF locations that's chock full of killer animatronics to find your pizza party. But fans know something far more sinister than pizza is waiting for you. Number 80. The name Night Terrors is a play on words, referring to the fact that FNAF 4 is widely thought to take place within the comatose nightmares of a certain 80s bite victim. Number 81. You can get L-Chips Tortilla Chips and L-Chips Tortilla Chips Bold and Spicy if you unlock them at the prize counter. It's a bit odd considering L-Chip is a major business rival of Freddy Fazbear Entertainment. You know, I find it just a bit unrealistic that they would carry their products. I can only suspend my disbelief so much, Scott. Number 82. Outside of the Halloween DLC, the prize counter can offer one of 3 bobbleheads, 5 toys, 18 food or drink items, 18 action figures, or 12 plushies. Or, you know, a plush trap jump scare. Number 83. Players can also unlock special items once a certain number of Faz-tokens are collected. These coveted prizes include a rolled paper, plastic cup, and a cockroach. Number 84. There are a total of 16 tapes found throughout FNAF VR Help Wanted, but they're hidden like Faz-tokens. Well, to be fair, they're not hidden quite as well as Faz-tokens. You know, they're pretty much either in plain view or not well hidden at all. Most of the game's lore is revealed in these tapes. Number 85. The tape player used to listen to these 16 tapes is called the Tony Runner. This is a clear knockoff of the infamous Sony Walkman from 1979, because the FNAF audience will totally get that joke. Number 86. The tape room is usually dark and desolate, but on extremely rare occasions, Glitch Trap will show up to taunt and haunt you further. Number 87. The Halloween DLC, Curse of Ned Bear, released in parts over October 23rd, October 29th, and October 31st, 2019. They introduced 2 new animatronics, Ned Bear and Grim Foxy. Number 88. Ned Bear, the titular DLC character, is yet another Freddy Fazbear iteration. He is essentially a Frankenstein Freddy, complete with a thick brow, lumbering physique, stitching, and neck screws. Though, I doubt he's afraid of fire, unfortunately. Number 89. Sorry, he's essentially a Frankenstein's monster Freddy. In a way, you play as Dr. Frankenstein in the Spooky Mansion Ned Bear minigame. You're following instructions given by a hand unit to bring the monster to life, just like the Doctor from Mary Shelley's gothic masterpiece. Number 90. Ned Bear is the largest FNAF animatronic to date. Quite the feat considering how monstrous these huge hulking metal machines have been. Number 91. According to the game's initial title, Ned Bear's original name was Franken Freddy, which, frankly, I like better. Number 92. Ned Bear could be considered the 10th iteration of Freddy Fazbear in the FNAF franchise, the others being Original Freddy, Withered Freddy, Shadow Freddy, Toy Freddy, Funtime Freddy, Rockstar Freddy, Molten Freddy, Phantom Freddy, and Nightmare Freddy. And I'm not even mentioning the iterations of Golden Freddy and Fredbear. Number 93. Grim Foxy is basically Jacko Foxy, joining the ranks of Jacko Bunny and Jacko Chica from the FNAF 4 Halloween DLC. Now we have the Jacko trifecta. Freddy needs a Jacko iteration to complete the Fab 4. Number 94. The tune that Grim Foxy occasionally sings within his corn maze level in Curse of Ned Bear is a version of the song Foxy hums way back in FNAF 1 in Pirate's Cove. Number 95. The Pirate Ride minigame in the Afraid of the Dark section of Curse of Ned Bear is very similar to real amusement park shooter rides like Disney's Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Number 96. If you score more than 9,999 points in Pirate Ride, the score will be reset to 0. It's like the Y2K of video games. Number 97. BB, in the Trick or Treat section of Spooky Mansion, magically turns into Nightmare BB during his jump scare. This is because Vanilla Balloon Boy never actually jump scared throughout the series. Number 98. The main menu of Curse of Ned Bear features a few Easter eggs, like a dancing glitch trap back near the house on the hill, which looks like the FNAF 4 house by the way, and a pirate ship on the lake, presumably belonging to Foxy. Number 99. The prize room, or barn, within the DLC has a handful of darts and randomized posters. If the player somehow spawns 3 clown posters, which is very rare, and hits all 3 with a dart, the room will suddenly turn dark and the Game 1 sign will change to It's Me. Number 100. The Halloween DLC also added 39 new prizes to achieve, 40 if you include the rabbit mask that you can get for finding the secret exit in the corn maze. Number 101. Picking up the Glitch Trap plush while wearing this rabbit mask will trigger a message from the reluctant follower. Yes, I hear you. I know. No, there's no miscommunication. I understand. Yes, I have it. I made it myself. I think you would like it. No, no one suspects anything. Don't worry. I'll be ready and I won't let you down. It will be fun. Fans are still debating exactly what this means and who the follower might be. Number 102. The long-anticipated FNAF movie is finally starting to come to fruition. It is being produced by Blumhouse Productions, a powerhouse in the horror movie world who in the last couple decades have made hit after hit, like the Paranormal Activity series, the Insidious franchise, the Purge series, Get Out, Happy Death Day, and so much more. Things were all ready to go with director Chris Columbus on board, but Scott vetoed the initial script in November 2018. Number 103. Fortunately, production seems to still be moving forward, as the film is rumored to be released in 2020 or 2021. We fans would much rather wait for a quality product than be disappointed by something rushed out. Number 104. Scott has emphasized that the FNAF movie and any subsequent sequels will only be based on the first 3 games in the franchise. Probably a good call, considering how convoluted the plot and lore became after those titles. Number 105. It's rumored that Scream Queen Jamie Lee Curtis, who was a huge fan of FNAF, will likely appear in the upcoming movie. Who's scarier, Michael Myers or Balloon Boy? Number 106. The Banana Splits movie seems to have beat FNAF to the punch, being released in August of 2019. This horror film about animatronics based on Hanna-Barbera's retro Banana Splits, making a murderous turn after learning of their show's cancellation, has been rightfully called out for its similarities to a certain video game series. Number 107. Additionally, there's a movie in the works called Wally's Wonderland, about a janitor fighting off a barrage of attacks from animatronics in an old amusement park. I know, this sounds like an even bigger ripoff of FNAF, but it stars Nicolas Cage. FNAF with Nicolas Cage. Just take my money. Well, now I have goosebumps. No, not from the jump scares, from the Nick Cage excitement. We hope you liked all these extra facts we compiled for FNAF. And this series is so deep, we could definitely find 107 more. Let us know if we should dive back in, covering special delivery, or cover a different series down in the comments. After subscribing, of course. All opinions and gamers are welcome here. From indie to AAA, we love the games you play here at the Leaderboard. Thanks for watching.